Bible says. At the beginning, God talking to Adam and Eve, whatever you name, that's what you're going to get. In Proverbs, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. What you claim is what you're going to experience. Jesus says, God knows what you ask before you ask it. Over and over again, beginning, middle, and end of the Bible, we're told over and over again, God is listening, and it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That's a lot, so let me boil it down. Every moment, every thought, every word, every action, every feeling, every moment is a wish. And every wish is granted. Every moment is a wish, and every wish is granted. But majority rules, right? So it's not just that one wish on Sunday morning where we wish for peace and love. It's also the wish that's made in traffic, and the wish when you go to HR, and the wish when you're dealing with your in-laws, and every wish is granted on some level, on a heart level. So ask yourself, with that thing I just said, what am I wishing for? With the way that I carry myself around people, what am I wishing for? Jesus said, blessed are they who hunger and thirst, blessed are they who wish for righteousness. What is righteousness? That word gets used as a synonym for being judgmental, to condescend. Do you think that's what Jesus meant? Probably not. You know this because we've all been through this before. Righteousness means right useness. You know that, right? We talked about that's 101 table stakes level stuff. Right use. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst to use it right. Who wish to have it work right. Who wish to use this life stuff, this love stuff, this beauty stuff that God gives us right. So the question from there is, well, what does that look like? Glad you asked. But you already know the answer. Because you have seen an artist at work in one way or another. Yesterday morning, Jenny made pancakes. It was amazing. And the way I help is I sit in the kitchen because I will mess it up. And occasionally she hands me stuff to stir, but mostly you do that the way you would give it to a little kid. Here, stir this 3 times and give it back to me, Scooter, because you're going to break this. And I know it. She knows it. It's all right. We're cool with this. So I stir a little bit and hand it over. But you've got this power, Jenny, you look at the thing and you go, oh, that's not the right color. I'm going to add a little bit of this. That doesn't smell right. It doesn't taste right. It doesn't feel right. It should have a different consistency. That needs to cook a little longer. All of these things are way off the recipe. I have no clue how you do it. There's a feel. Michelangelo said that when he looks at a block of marble, there's an angel sculpture inside, and all he's doing is letting it out. It tells him what it needs to be. When you work with a mechanic who's fixing an engine, they can tell by the way it feels, by the way it sounds, if it's working right or not. It tells them what it needs to be. Every artist works that way. Your life can be a work of art if you listen, if you let it tell you what it needs to be. The formula for righteousness, are you ready? When my desire to live like a child of God is greater than my desire for ego, I'm on the path of righteousness. When my desire to live like a child of God is greater than my desire for ego, that's what righteousness looks like. It means identifying with the solution and not the problem. Guys, stuff happens, but it can't tell you who you are. Stuff happens. It's okay to confront it. The formula is face it, and own it, and live it. Face it and own it and live it. Stuff happens. Face it. Don't act like it's not happening, and don't decide that that's the only truth about you. Face it. Yesterday I was at Bailey's birthday party, and there was a time when I got to go over to the playground with a couple of kids, because mostly I wanted to go over to the playground, and there happened to be kids there, but we won't talk about it. Don't judge. And there's this part of the playground that's about 6-7 feet up in the air, and it's between 2 structures. Did you see it? I don't know if you saw it. But as a 3-foot tall person, that's like 3 stories up. You know what I mean? And there's this place where you have to let go and step out because you can't grab both places at the same time. And as an adult, I was afraid for the kids, and I kind of wanted to do it. You know that wonderful juxtaposition that can get you in a lot of trouble? But sure enough, the 2 kids I was with, and there were some other kids playing in the playground, right there, that's the only thing they wanted to do, is the dangerous thing, the adventure thing. That's who you are. We love stories of adventure, not because it's a story about fantasy, a story about something that we're not. We love adventure because you are an adventurer. You have faced a moment of adventure, whether it's a divorce or a mortgage or a marriage or a birth or a transition or a job interview or a whatever it is or a playground. You are an adventurer. And stuff happens. Face it like a kid faces a playground. Face it. There's something to fix. And own it. And by that I mean, it's easy when you go, yeah, there's a problem out there. Those people that vote differently than me, those people who, I saw them on the news one time. We need to protect ourselves from those people. Those people are us. Here's the thing. If my problem is out there, then the solution is out there somewhere, and it's never where I need it to be. Own it. Decide, you know what? I feel this hunger. Where do I feel it? Out there? In the media? In here. Own it. Decide that that hunger is something that happens in me, and I'm going to do something about it right now. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Just like Chief Joseph said, the fighting stops with me. The love starts here. Own it and live it. Decide to be the blessing. Decide to identify with the solution. What does the fulfillment of the hunger look like in your life? How can you be the food, so to speak, in your life? How can you find something in your life? And people say, I've got all these problems. I'm poor and I'm sick and I came from a weird family and I've got this stuff. I'll tell you what I see. I can imagine what God sees, and so can you, but I can tell you for sure what I see. I see a sleeping giant. And every moment, every problem, every shortcoming is a little wake-up call. And the giant stirs, and something will happen to wake up the giant, to wake up the answer, to wake up the adventurer, to wake up the hero, to wake that up so that you can be the blessing in your life. The world is waiting. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they will be filled, and they will be the fulfillment for our world.